Hey everyone, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup 11. This is Quarterfinals C, I believe, although it might be D. Hard to say. I'd have to check the Battlefy page, but bah, I'm far too lazy for this trash. Between Rompafrolic and Descara, I think it's obvious that Descara should probably be the favorite for the series, but Rompafrolic, the green player, gonna give it his darndest, and I believe he's in the chat, so that's pretty cool. Galzi versus Coalition, kind of the classic matchup of DOK here. Interested to see what Rompafrolic does. I believe before these games it was that we had played a bit of, I wouldn't really call it practice, but I was, we were playing games together and I was kind of like telling him about like the Galzian build orders. I'm hoping to see him pull out something pretty nice here. He killed me, so I must hate him. Dead men really do speak. Anyway, since Curfab is done here, he's moving the PC across the field, so it looks like this is going to be some aggro, and it looks like that'll be the assault ship build then. I like it. I think this is a well possible build here, especially on Kalash Teeth. Let me check our info.txt. Rompa takes Galzian, Descara takes Coalition. I actually want to point out Descara would probably have played Galzian if Rompa had picked Coalition here, even though that's not his main. He just really enjoys playing his all faction when he's in rather comfortable matchups. But he bans Cannon Outposts and Rompa bans Galzian territories, but he is Galzian. No, I'm just joking. That's actually not a bad ban, because this is a map that Descara is going to be really good on with his LED play, but he'll also be really good on a map like, say, Kartoba. So we see Rompa pick Kalash Teeth. I'll get into that in a moment, but I think that's actually a bit of a mistake. But then Descara picks Kartoba for Game 2, and then Boneyard for Game 3. And these look like really, really good maps for him. And then, let's see. Rompafrolic picks the Firebase for Game 4, or Descara picks Turin Crater for Game 5. I was looking at that carrier move out, like, hold up. Probe here for Descara is seeing what's going on, but it will get sniped here. That's actually quite nice for Rompa, because this could still be a rail rush at this point, but Descara probably expects assault ships. He's got that base burner in tow, though, drops the turret down, and at this point, what Rompafrolic needs to be playing for is probably just stalling time. Which is not to say that he's lost by any means, but he needs to be really careful that he doesn't lose the assault ships to this turret, or else he may well just lose the game off of that. So you keep the assault ships around here, like behind this dune. If Descara tries to set up his economy on this base, you can just kill them, so that gives Rompa time to go ref mode and then hopefully get to his second base timing slightly before his opponent. So yeah, this is a good build. You'd say it looks pretty GG to me. I don't know. This actually looks pretty good. Although this doesn't look so good, actually. Descara with some nice carry movement, actually going to kill off this assault ship. But this is the kind of diving I'm warning about, right? Once you start losing units, especially to that turret, I think the game is probably going to go badly. Uh-oh, and he's pathing up toward the turret. Oh dear. But you see, this thing is going to just chew up that assault ship. There's not really much he can do about it. Uh-oh. He will get that turret with this assault ship right here, but this is pretty bad damage to be taken for Rompafrolic. And yeah, Cookies makes a good... Oh my gosh, the turret didn't even die. Oh no! The support cruiser has enough healing, and he keeps the turret alive. Oh. Yikes. But yeah, Cookies made a good point that, like, the PC might well die even if he manages to kill the turret, but at this point it definitely will. Oh dear. That's crippling. Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of say so, but definitely the real lesson to like learn here is that you really shouldn't push in on that turreted position as the Galzian player. Your whole goal is, okay, just stop him from mining on second base, I can get ref mode, mine on my second faster, and then I'll have like a slight eco edge, and that's kind of what this build wants to accomplish. But diving on the main, really unlikely. Turrets changed in the new patch? No, I don't think they've been changed actually since like Jaraci 7 or 8 or something. And what do you mean, Houston? You've never died to turrets, right? Well, a very, very swift game 1. That was even faster than the other series. Let's jump into game 2. Yeah, unfortunately not so. Those turreted positions are quite tough to fight in the early game for Galzian like that. So, in fact, even later they can make quite a nice defensive like backstab. So. But here we are in Kartoba, and I expect we're going to see Descara mix up the builds here a little bit. Yeah, he does have the base burner retire coming out. That turret's so influential in the last game, you're sure he's not going to go for SC first now, right? Because he knows how valuable that was for him. No probe either. Production upgrade coming out. This is obviously going to be the LAV build. Which is nice, actually, because I'm interested in how Descara plays this. Let's check Rompafrolic's end as well, though. So it looks like production upgrade, then LAV fab, then he builds self, so that's good to know. This is probably something I was doing wrong in my series against Honest Meniver, which we just cast. But as for Rompafrolic, looks like he's banking up quite a bit of CU here, so this might be 2 PC, which is actually potentially a nice answer to the LEV pressure, but it could also just be ref mode first. Yeah, it looks like that's what it's going to be. In that case, though, I'd really like it if this base printer would come out and drop a probe down here somewhere. Or a probe, my gosh. Scanner. Which, by the way, do you see a shadow moving on the ground? Yeah, it was this salvager flying high in the sky. Interesting. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be ref mode. But in that case, yeah, he really needs the scanner, I believe. But it looks like he is going to move out and deploy that. Now, this build here has been refined pretty well, I think, by this point. It's pretty clear, like, what you need to do in order to make the Gaussian greed work against Coalition. And unfortunately, it's really not to build salvagers here. You need to get Sandscreamer Fab started. So this is already a really big mistake for Rompafrolic, and he might just be dead here. SC first, yeah, he went FC first for the first one, but this time he's going with the LAV spam. But yeah, Rompafrolic might already be dead here. This is a very late Sandscreamer Fab. I just say that because Kartoba, very, very good LAV map. Interesting that Descara is taking this path. I would have thought he goes this way, but either way. He's very good at this playstyle. And you can see he's going to react when he sees the probe, or the scanner, but he realizes, oh, that's a scanner, and he goes back. He's worried about some kind of a rail rush or something. But yeah, now he'll be coming back onto this side, and I've played this against Descara a million times. If you don't play the build right, you will just die to this, so I fear for Rompa greatly. He does have Sandscreamer Fab ready now. He's going to start building them here, but the LAVs are here already. So it's a 1-on-5 for now, but these guys still need to arrive. Sandscreamer taking fire already. And this carrier does have the weapons powered up, not the range, which I think is probably the optimal play, but he's got something at least. Sandscreamer takes the hill, which is nice. Obviously, if the LAVs choose to run on him, this is probably his best chances of trading well. And he'll just keep building more and more skims, but Descara has that SC on the way already. Skim gets picked down, though, just by the sheer number of LAVs here. And a missile is going to claim the life of one of these LAVs too, so at least he is getting some of them, but still, chances of getting back on a 2-base for some time are kind of shot here. And that SC is about to come down. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Pickles. And the LAVs now still managing to trade effectively, although they haven't been replenished at all, so he's just totally relying on that initial number that he built, which I think was only 5. Salvager even taking some fire now, and as you can see, it takes so long for Rompafrolic to build up a defense to this. This is why you really need that skim tech started sooner. He does get an extraction out, which is nice for him. That carrier power actually can be quite useful. If you bring this PC here, he does have ref mode, right? So the carrier can leave the main base and drive out onto that base and start helping the CC, or, oh my gosh, I'm just saying things that I read. Helping the Sandscreamers push off the LAVs. And Houston's right, yeah, the carrier wants to drive out this way and push out the LAVs, but not going to play it that way, it seems, which I fear puts him even further behind. Behind? That's some kind of 5-brain word. Behind. There's no two ways about it. Descara, I think, at this point, is kind of horrifyingly ahead. And Scanner gets bopped here as well, and that's, you know, whatever. But yeah, and Descara does have boost, by the way, right? In fact, he even got armor 1, so he's really spending a lot for those LAVs, but that boost is going to always allow him to outmaneuver the carrier, which is why this is difficult to defend against. Like, even with proper play, if you do the build this way, I think Descara just wins this match. But either way, I mean, you can see by the eco lead. In fact, if we were Descara casting, we'd like quit the game right now, you know, and like see what the resources mined looks like. I'd say Rompafrolic's working at like a 1.5k deficit right now, which is insane, right? It doesn't really look like it, but this is really bad damage here. Yeah, Cookies makes a good point. I mean, like, obviously not really seeing the opponent, you kind of have to know this You kind of have to know this this build matchup here to really understand how far behind you are. But Skim's, by the way, going to get picked off here. This base runner can try and make a Desperado play to run to the extraction zone, but it's definitely not going to make it. Just buys a little bit of time. And Descara continues to invest in LAVs. I wonder if he changes anything when he sees the assault ships, but he may well not. Still though, Rompafrolic doing a good job of having 2 of them here instead of just 1. Fighting just a little bit before his upgrade, but Descara is not going to dive in on that. He's far too conservative for this. Armor 1 is done now. I say, of course, good to have 2 because the way they do AoE, right? I mean, it's definitely exponential scaling here when you're fighting a bunch of LAVs versus small numbers of assault ships. If you have 1 at a time, they'll definitely just get picked off and killed. But if you have more than 1, you know, you can fight that. So, and Rompa has got a second PC. He's going to start setting up his second base here. So, signs of life from his side. Damage 2 coming out though for Descara. And if you haven't been building any armor upgrades for like the assault ships, this damage 2 upgrade is really just going to let them just chunk. But Rompafrolic has been getting armor upgrades, so he's not going to be just completely smashed by LAVs here, unless that is he positions badly. And you can see he's moving out across the field here, which I think is a little bit detached from the reality of the situation, as well as building this base runner is a terrible play. It means that, like, you know, he's over here when he wants to be back here defending. The LAVs are always faster, so it's really important to remember that you can be out positioned like this. One assault ship goes down, second assault ship actually spared here, interestingly. I love the det packs as well, you know, I always gotta call those out when I see them played. But the LAVs just totally having their, way over the field here. Down goes the assault ship. Calm down, God, excuse. And on the other side of the map, actually these assault ships have gotten up on top of the railguns, so it's not as terrible as it might have been. They get both of them, it's kind of nice. But we are going to see PCs go down here. At least all of the salvagers on the third base are dead. Yeah, it looks like with some nice carrier positioning as well, Descara able to push the assault ships away from his railguns there, so that's going to keep them alive as well. Third base now actually going to be the target, but the det packs, yes! Yes! Oh, that one didn't even go off. The Sporkers are killed at first. And Descara says, anything you can do, I can do better, except for microing Strikecraft, I guess. He did fail to kill the PC here, but still, I mean, it shouldn't really matter. This has gone from major damage to catastrophic damage, and at this point, the game is really decided. There is always the chance that your opponent could, you know, have a stroke and stop playing, and then you could actually still win from such a deficit, but I think that's about what would have to happen. Descara insanely ahead at this point. What you expect by who I think we generally tote as the macro king. This kind of stuff happens in games against me, so I don't think anyone should be sad if they lose to Descara, but now that he's got the railguns in tow, by the way, he actually has a threat against this carrier too, so I mean, there's thoughts to ending the game already. Not as fast as last game, then again, Rompafrolic GG'd there. The damage this game, I think, was done at about the same time. AV Fab teching as well, it's an interesting choice, maybe thinking of moving into late game cruisers, but I don't think we're going to get to that point. That's a good point, Houston, that's a good point. Maybe that's like a god tier strategy to like hide your mental state by just always spelling things badly. I really like the assault ship positioning by Rompa, by the way. Very nicely done. The range too, gonna let him pick off this LED, good. Railguns here, as always, gonna prioritize the wrong unit. At this point, it's become a meme. Like anytime there's a patch changelog coming out, just do Control F and look up priority. It's always gonna be railgun target priority being adjusted. So it seems like one of these problems that can never be fixed, no matter how much A-game tries. Indeed, if you look up the most recent patch changelog for like the patch that's coming out after Jaraci 11, yep, priority got reduced, but it's still not gonna work. It's for some reason just railguns have like this fascination with salvagers. They simply must kill them. Assault ships here, by the way, really can't fight the LAVs because like they've got to shoot at the railguns here, so the LAVs essentially have infinite health for it. And yeah, Rompafrolic gonna finally see the writing on the wall, chooses to GG here. He lasted 10 minutes, that's pretty good. Let's move into game 3. And realistically, we should expect this is the end for you, my master. No, this is the end for Rompafrolic's run here. But he can still give it a try, and he can do something that he hasn't done before. 10 minutes and 14 seconds. Good point. Good point. That's a little bit longer than 10. And yeah, I really liked actually Rompafrolic's attack right at the end. Like, if he had any way back into the game, that was it. But let's see if he tries to mix things up a little bit this time. See if he can do something different. Looks like this is probably going to be Rail Rush, but not sure. He's getting Sandscreamer fed very early, which is generally what we do for Soul Chips, but this is a very bad spawn for that, so I would say this is not going to be the Soul Chip push. I say bad spawn because look how open it is around here. Soul Chips really like to be in situations where there's a lot of dunes. And that being said, if they want to camp the second base, you know, being around in these rivets here is not terrible, but I think that they can get outflanked easier than on the other side, where they can easily hide right behind this dune here. And they can also attack the main, so this is definitely the Rail Rush spawn, and Rompa's not going to really play it that way. Oh, I see, but he's going to go for 2PC instead. Wait, no, he's not. Oh, what the heck? I guess he was just delaying salvagers. Actually, it is going to be a Soul Chip, so look at that. So this is not Rail Rush. And in a way, that makes sense too, because I mean, I was talking with Rompafrolic earlier about how like Rail Rush seems pretty weak in this current iteration of patch. I guess he agrees with me. If there was ever a time to Rail Rush, this is it. So he still doesn't feel confident that it can work, even in this good position here. For Descara, going to be SC first. Well, definitely as Con F. I think even as Galzian, I mean, you can make it work, but it seems weaker than it has been before, so... Besides, Rail Rush does take some really tight execution, so if it's, like, slightly weaker than normal, I think it makes a big difference. Even if you're pretty well practiced in the build, hard to pull off against Coalition. And, you know, doubly hard to pull off against Descara, because he's Descara, so... We are going to have a turret set down here if the aggro continues. Descara has obviously seen that PC, but he's going to bring the probe this time straight back to the carrier. So in game 1, he lost that probe, right? And I think that was a big deal. This time, he'll know what the tech is. So maybe he will... And yeah, you're definitely right about that, Cookies. You have to play pretty much perfectly there. But this game actually going to be SC first, so not quite the same. But yeah, this time he sees the Assault Chip tech already, so if Descara wants to counter Assault Chip push in particular with something different, he may well do that just now, but we shall see. It looks like he has set down that turret, because you can tell he's a little bit out-positioned with his carrier. And that's no problem, this turret is going to give him value. Rompa wants to dive on it here, but once the turret starts shooting, he's really just got to leave. Yeah, I guess he sees that, that's good. Takes damage on all the skims, but doesn't lose any, that's exactly what you want to see, so he is fine for now. And these Assault Chips are out, so the idea is that if he can hold his opponent off of this second base here, then he'll be okay, because he can get his second base timing, and yeah, ref mode already on the way. Great, great, great. That's exactly what you want to see. Except, this base runner actually quite bad. Did he finish it, or...? He didn't, okay, good, good. He wants to build another Assault Chip and send it to the front line. Oh, but he's pop blocked. He actually needs to lose a Sand Skimmer. I know that sounds funny, but just like driving one of these guys into the opponent's base is the right call here. And like losing it on purpose. But either way, look at this. Descara pulling off the second base, and Rompafrolic with ref mode tech on the way. And he's doing pretty well for himself here. He might actually end up with a slight eco lead in this game. Probe is going to see what's going on though. This is really crucial for Descara. Descara hates being blind in this situation. He wants to know what is happening so that he can invest just the right amount of defense into it. And no additional Assault Chip for Rompafrolic means he hasn't really been able to push out here yet. Navy comes out now, so Rompa's going to have to respond back away. So I think he ended up losing a little bit of the edge there. But that does still mean we're going to move into a mid-game where he's only maybe like 200 CUs behind, which is not so bad. So yeah, this is probably the best... This is... Well, I shouldn't say probably. This is definitely the best early game for the series so far for Rompa, which is good. Then again, I mean, I'm contrasting it against a game where he died instantly and a game where he died instantly but didn't know it yet, so... But still, this is definitely an improvement to the previous two games here. And this is Soul Chip moving up onto the high ground properly, so he will be able to actually fight this AV too. Any armor for either side? Yes, armor 1 for Descara. I thought that was armor 2 for a second. High ground will still secure Rompa this fight though, but actually he can't shoot now because of the smokes. This is a good micro for Descara. Buys him time to bring the second guy over. And Rompa did not see this wreck open up here, although you can actually see the det packs flying from Fog of War, so potentially if his screen was on this side, he might have noticed that happening. Ooh, really nice micro for Rompa, by the way, buying a little bit more time with this assault chip here. I wonder, does he like dive over the hill after the AV drives past? Because that would be amazing to see. Oh, not quite. That would have been hilarious. Really good micro there if that had happened. Uh-oh, is this a railgun? Oh, that's a bad sign. The problem here is that Rompafrolic is going to start falling behind on eco now. So, you can see the support cruiser is out for Descara. And he's built another base runner. Yeah, you can. You can see the Conf mobility support too, so potentially in some scenarios that can actually give you quite a lead in like figuring out what your opponent's eco state is like. But I don't think we've ever really seen it used in a game before. Just a potential thing. Yeah, this base runner is really going to bite Rompa in the back though, and I think definitely the railgun fab is not going to be great either, because basically by teching this instead of getting more eco, he is saying like, okay, well I'm going to kill my Descara now. And if he doesn't, he's losing. But it's Descara, so you know that's already. not only that though, I mean like he does have definitely you would say adequate defense. He didn't see the railguns for some time, but even still he's managing to build some LAVs. These skims need to come up here because right now like the turret there is just gonna absolutely wreck him. So I mean these skims don't do anything on this flank. They need to come over to that side. Just that BRs were in a lose condition. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that in this case, they're not boosting your army, they're not boosting your eco, so they're really just doing nothing for you. Something we've seen from Rompa many, many times, I'm sure you can remember. Boost is available, but no, it's not actually, okay. Oh, it is now. But even without the boost, the LAVs are able to jump on the assault rails here. These two fall, and with those two going down, this game is over. Oh, there's another base runner. Oh. That's a baseball now. Yeah, I mean that's just a really questionable play. I mean the first one is already sort of a throwaway. A lot of LAVs now for Descara. Fighter gunship tech coming out as well, and that's obviously pretty powerful too. We do have that second PC, so at least he's got that. But at this point, Descara being on 2 base for so long, he's basically like. Probably like 1,500 Cs ahead again, just like last game. Which, like I said, that's really game-ending damage. And even if he's not, I mean, the air will come out eventually and probably just kill one of these PCs outright. Because there's no way that, there's no way Rompa's gonna have field control to scout it anymore. So if you don't have field control, why are you building base runners? It doesn't make any sense. This is a very, very bad call. Because even if they could extract, I don't know what he manages to get with it, but they get done with it. But he definitely can. Get do with it? I swear, my brain must be like melting these days because I can't speak straight anymore. LAV's here gonna bop the base runner there. It actually has heal available just in the nick of time, but certainly not gonna be enough. Little AV backstab, I like that, but he does have the requisite assault jets to defend. And Descara's not gonna be able to kill the bases here, but he does neutralize any threat here. He has the field control. And that's all he needs. Tac bomber fab instantly. Wow, I love it. And that next production line coming through as well means there's going to be a lot of strike fighters when he shows up finally. He doesn't need to wait for bombers, but he might. But I think this PC is on the menu for breakfast here, and that's no bueno for Rompa. You know, I gotta say, I feel like Rompa's execution during fights has been quite good. I mean, I feel like his micro is doing pretty well here, but definitely a lot of questionable macro decisions that have been costing him. Descara, in a sense, is kind of the exact opposite of a player. He always jokes that he doesn't micro at all, even though he's a StarCraft 2 player. He does know how to micro. I mean, he's obviously mostly just joking, but like, he tends to prefer strategies that don't require him to actually pay attention. Because he knows how to execute the strategy so well that he manages to build just like massive leads here just by having the right thing at the right time, you know? It's very interesting. Well, that is 5 strike fighters. 6 now. Yeah, he does. He does indeed. You got him there. Another, no, this is that same base friend. I was gonna say, like, did he really build another one? But he didn't. But it looks like the Strike Fighter is not gonna go for the PC here. Instead, they're gonna grab the Assault Railgun, which gets away on 2 HP. Rail Armor 1, man. Made a big difference there. Descara, though, I mean, for all the talk about not microing, he does manage to avoid the overkill situation right there. And then he's going to bring him out to the side. I'm not sure. Oh, I see. He's probably trying to avoid overkill once again. He's probably got 1 volley left on 4 of these guys then. But yeah, it looks like they're just going to dock. And he has an AV to defend. He's going to be just fine over here. Meanwhile, big backstab with the LAVs. I'll try and keep all of this on the screen at the same time. Smoke goes down to the SC. Gotta love it. Avoid taking any damage there, as well as the salvagers. These Strike Fighters that are trying to dock manage to get some missiles off. That's pretty cool. Bomber launching now. A couple salvagers dropping on that side. Rompa does finally get his first extract. Oh, and he did build another base footer. Oh, you really gotta not do this. I've been telling him this for years now. But meanwhile, on the, well, this isn't really the second base because his third base cell is being targeted. These LAVs are definitely doing their dirty work. Where's that bomber now? Just in a holding pattern for now, but I imagine it's going to be tasked to kill salvagers or maybe a PC on the other side. LAVs, though, are going to be forfeit, and that's actually something that Descara doesn't usually like to do, but he's got such a dominant army here, perhaps just trading even is okay for him. Oh, he docked a bomber. Oh, gosh. Oh, he docked 2 bombers. Oh. And Rompafrolic's got an interceptor tech too, so that might actually be a problem, but... Whoops. See, there's the I don't like to micro part coming into play, right? Speaking of the Strike Fighters, there's a lot of them. This is a dead PC if he wants it, unless the PCs conglomerate, which it looks like they're going to do. Yeah, and see, look at this. I mean, Rompafrolic's execution is really quite good, see? He brings these guys together. He says, yeah, I mean, I know what's going to happen. I need to get as much AA as I can. Gonna try the fight 2v7 here. I definitely don't think this is a good idea, but... Oof. Oh, almost got out there with 11 HP. But he keeps his PCs alive, which is important. These guys don't have the ammo left to actually kill him. Oh, and the base sprinter gets a kill, actually. Nice. This time, Descara will not dock the bombers, I assume. He's got 2 out now. Assault Cruiser Tech coming out also. Picks up an artifact 2, he's got 3 base sprinters, so he can go for the triple extract if he likes. Good micro here, gets the dodge off. Obviously when PC... Oh no, he didn't quite dodge that one, but it's okay, he's not going to lose it. When PCs are moving, they won't take as much damage. Well, maybe he will lose it. I mean, the thing is, 2 bombers never kill a PC, but... The LEVs actually are just barely enough to finish it off here before there's any response. Uh-oh. So yeah, that's a dead PC. Yeah, if you're getting hit by bombers, though, always move. It does reduce the damage pretty significantly. There's another bomber out here as well. The interceptors are actually going to chase it down now. I don't believe they have afterburner, but... Not really sure where this was going to get done, actually. And yeah, it's true. 2 bombers will kill an SC now in the new patch that's coming out soon. But I think if the SC is moving, though, it'll still survive. Maybe A-Game is done testing on that, though. But either way, Rompafrolic realized, yeah, I'm just dead to air here, and he chooses to surrender. Can't really blame him. Oh no. but that is going to be the 3-0 for Descara. I was about to say Rompafrolic. And Descara will move up to the semifinals. I think it surprises no one, but yeah, I think Rompafrolic definitely has like really good micro. He just needs to work on that macro. And I think like just playing the meta builds until you can understand like why they're played is probably a good way to start there. Could probably be said for a lot of players. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the series, and I'll catch you in the next one.